Oh. It is that time of morning, ladies and gentlemen. Excuse me, frog in the throat. Bedbeard instead of bedhead. Our eyes are still a little grainy, but we're waking up. We've got coffee. I'm in EVE Online this morning. Get going here. Figured this was something easy to kind of hang out in this morning. See what I've got going on here. And here in a moment, we're going to go look at some game news. Which, this morning, excuse me, I'm checking out, everybody's talking about the Crysis relaunch, and when Crysis first launched, I don't remember how many years ago it's been now, I mean, it would melt people's computers. I mean, it was just that type of a game. 2007, the requirements were just so high. And these days, it's not that big of a deal. Excuse me. And then also with all the announcements of the new 3000 series cards, like I was saying this the other morning, we just came out with the 2000 series card like a year ago. So the technology nowadays is just moving so quicker. I mean, when I got this rig that I'm using now, that's got a 1080 in it. That was 2 years ago, and 2 years ago the 1080 was, top of the line. And then 6 months after I got that, the 2000 series came out, and now we've got the 3000 series out. It's been kind of amusing to see how quickly, because I can remember when graphics cards used to last, it'd be 3 years before major updates, and now it's just boom, boom, boom. There was a meme I saw the other day that was like PlayStation and Xbox kind of arguing about who was gonna. It's like, no, you show your price first. No, you show your price first. Regarding the new console series, and then Nvidia comes in and just says, boom, and here's the 3000 series with all the price points for the various options from $600 all the way up to $1,600. So it's just kind of a funny little meme this morning. This morning I want to talk about offline skill play, or offline skill progression, I guess I should say, stuff like that, offline crafting. It's something that I had never really considered, excuse me, until I started playing EVE, and got the hiccups here, early morning hiccups. Where am I at in my missions? I've been working on this epic arc. Bloodstained Stars. I'm at 36 of 52 missions. She has one last request. Go and tell Mizara Amar's masters that she will work for them no more. Alright, well, we will work on this mission while we're talking this morning. Do I have the certificate of death on me? I'm assuming so. Set destination. Off we go. So, offline skill progression, offline crafting. Previously I had always thought that I wasn't that big of a fan of those systems, but as I've been playing EVE Online and also getting into 10 jumps, yeah, that's plenty of time to sit here and talk with people while I'm on autopilot. This might actually be the go-to game for the early morning show, considering that you can do a lot of it and just kind of sit here and chat and have a nice background going. Previously, I had always been against offline crafting and offline skill progression because you know, I've always been of the belief that you need to be actively engaged, and there's still a part of me that says, hey, you know, it needs to be that way for some games, but I don't think it needs to be that way for all games. I think it makes sense for a sci-fi game. You know, if you're talking fantasy game, then we're talking games that, you know, you're required to constantly be, you know, if you're at the forge making a sword in medieval times, you're at the forge, you're making that sword. There's no way that you can avoid, you know, pumping the bellows, you know, swinging the hammer, quenching the blade. I mean, you have to actively be involved in that process, as opposed to in a sci-fi game, you know, especially because as I've been getting in through the tutorial for Dual Universe, you know, they have everything set up in terms of assembly lines, which is exactly how it is in more modern scenarios. So if you think about the assembly line process and an automated process where you've got robots and spaceships and all these other things that can take care of those for you, then there's not this need to be actively engaged in the crafting process as much as you are in a medieval fantasy game. It's also the same argument. Excuse me. It's early. Need more coffee.
Approaching Stargate.
It's also the same argument I've looked at for why, for example, with the Saga of Leucemia, we chose, you know, from the beginning, not to include a mini-map or a compass, because we said that, well, you know, people didn't have GPS back then. If they wanted to figure out how to get around, they had to immerse themselves in the environment, pay attention to landmarks, pay attention to descriptions from text. And this jumps back to, and I probably should have logged into Assassin's Creed Odyssey to show this better, and I may show this tomorrow. Actually, I might do an overview video on Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I mean, the game's been out already for a while, so my overview is not going to be valuable to most players, but it's something that I wouldn't mind doing. So there's a whole series of options related to the exploration of the game, where you can literally turn everything off. You can turn the compass off, just all the waypoints, any of that stuff can be turned off, and you can navigate purely by, you know, the text-based descriptions. Woo! And when you first start the game, you get the option to choose guided mode or exploration mode, and guided mode has you know, all the waypoints on, and exploration mode has most of them turned off, but you still have the compass and some other things. So I've gone in and I've actually turned off the compass at least, so I'm not getting automatic, and I'm also not getting automatic waypoints just for every little thing. Instead, when I get a quest, it tells me a description of where roughly I need to go, and it'll give me like 2 to 4 hints. And then I open up my map and I look at the map, and if I've explored the area, then if it says something like can be found south of the ruins of Theocles, right? Well, if I've discovered where the ruins of Theocles are, then I know to go there and then look south. But if I've yet to explore the area, I'm not going to see anything on my map for the ruins of Theocles, so I have to actually go out there and explore the area before I can find the ruins. And I find that type of gameplay incredibly enjoyable, especially in a game like Assassin's Creed Odyssey, where they have spent so much time replicating, you know, the Greek islands in an idyllic format, you know, in a kind of a pristine, untouched, you know, before modern technology, etc. So you're very much dealing with, you know, forts and villages and farming hovels and, you know, big cities like Athens. But I first played that game last holiday season when it first came out. Around the same time I did, as I recall, it was like Red Dead Redemption 2, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and then the new Spider-Man game, which was all like last holiday season. So I played those maybe that was 2 years ago actually. When did Assassin's Creed Odyssey come out? Now I'm gonna look. I'm actually thinking it was 2 years ago. 2018, so it was 2 years ago that I'm thinking of. Well, a year and a half. Well, closer to 2 years because it says October 2018. So yeah, 2 years ago was when I played that game. Wow, it feels like it was only a year ago. So, yeah, time flies. But it is one of those games where it's visually stunning enough that it's nice to be able to just kind of enjoy the way the game looks and immerse yourself into the environment. That's also something that I've noticed here with EVE Online.
Approaching Stargate.
Which I know it drives some of my followers on Twitch crazy. Because I use the autopilot when I have long jumps. If it's just like 3 or 4 jumps, I'll just sit here and do it. But like the jump that I was about to start on when we started this session, it said 10 jumps, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna use autopilot so that I can sit here and talk about things without being, distracted with what's going on in the game. And it drives some people nuts because it takes longer. So it's a system whereby, instead of jumping right to the gate, it sets you like 10 or 12 clicks out, or more sometimes, and so you have to. It's just a slower way to do things, and there's obviously some danger to it if you're hauling heavy cargo and important stuff, but I'm not. So in this game, going back to the visuals of a breathtaking looking world where you can sit back and enjoy, I like that aspect of it. But also because with EVE Online in particular, the autopilot mode's great because I can do other things while I'm traveling. If it's going to be like a 20-minute travel session, then I can just minimize the game. Because I'm not worried about cargo and stuff like that. I'm usually just warping around to do missions. I'm not hauling anything, or at least I haven't yet. I mean, look at that space station. Jump gate, excuse me. That's just so cool looking. That is really amazing. So I can minimize the game and I can go work on getting some writing done. I can do some social media for Psychoglycemia. I can get some video editing done. I can check emails. I can do a lot of stuff, while the game is traveling. So yeah, these are all things that I can appreciate. It's hard to believe it's been 2 years since Assassin's Creed Odyssey came out. I'm really looking forward to, Valhalla, which comes out in November. I'm really torn because, let's see here. Yeah, so Assassin's Creed Valhalla is going to be coming out the 17th of November, and then Cyberpunk 2077 is coming out the 20th of November. So I'm really torn because I want to play Cyberpunk first, but I might just have to deal with it and play Odyssey first since it's coming out a few days beforehand. But in the meantime, oh my goodness. In the meantime, getting into Baldur's Gate 3 early access. I can't wait for that. I'm still going through the Baldur's Gate 2 playthrough. I've got Icewind Dale on the back burner. Such good games. I just really, really, really look forward to sinking my teeth into this. And I know, based on Divinity Original Sin 1 and 2, Larian Studios has done really good jobs with those games. So I'm anticipating something extra special for Baldur's Gate 3. And I was initially torn about whether or not to play it on the PlayStation or the PC. And I'm going to have a greater talk with my brother about that because, well, I mean, I think right now it's only available for Stadia and the PC, but I wish that, you know, it's one of those games where I'd love to play it multiplayer. And because there's enough replayability to it and enough kind of interactions that you can have, that having other players in your party makes a lot of sense. They tried to do that with Star Wars: The Old Republic, where in the flashpoints they gave you the conversation options and you could earn social points based on the conversation options that you chose. Hang on, what's going on here? There's an invasion.
Autopilot jumping.
And they tried to make conversation choice matter. I'm actually paying attention here.
Warp drive active.
Because there's like war going on in this zone. I don't think it's been won yet. That's been the one aspect of EVE Online that I've not touched yet. I'm a little nervous to touch, which is the whole PvP component and joining a large corporation and, you know, dealing with these Triglavian invasions and everything else, because it's just, these are things that are so complex that, you know, it really only applies to veteran players, and I'm not a veteran player. I've been playing for all of 2 weeks, and I'm in newbie ships and everything else, so. Also going on in this station, in this system.
To Stargate. Warp drive active.
So I kind of do want to pay attention real quick. Make sure I don't get blown up while I'm not paying attention. I'm one jump away, so.
Approaching Stargate.
I'm just scoping everything out here. There's a lot of activity going on around here.
Autopilot jumping.
Okay. Anyway, we can probably start to wind down as my jump is almost finished, as is my coffee.
Warping to station.
Which means I need to get cup number 2 and do some early morning work, go for a run. Actually, I need to check with my wife to see if she wants to go for a run today, because if she wants to go for a run today, we'll go running at noon. Cyberpunk 2077, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Baldur's Gate 3, Star Wars Squadrons. I can't wait for the next few months, ladies and gentlemen. And I've already got, you know, I've just picked up Dual Universe. I've got Baldur's Gate 2 to finish. I've got Icewind Dale 1 and 2 to play. The next few months, basically the last part of 2020, is going to be pretty awesome for games. Alright, I am coming into MR Prime, docking at this Avatar Consulate Bureau station to deliver this death certificate.
Docking permission requested.
And I'm going to go get some more coffee, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for tuning in to Games Has Coffee. I hope so. Episode 2 of the official show. I know we did a few preview runs on Twitch, but now we're going to be doing these every morning here on YouTube. Of course, don't forget to tune in on Twitch, where I'm streaming daily, 9 a.m. to noon-ish. Sometimes I just do 9 to 11. I basically stream when my wife's in class, which is 9 to 11 most mornings. And then depending on if she's doing anything after classes, I'll sometimes go till about noon. So tune in over there as I stream a variety of games. I don't know what I'm going to stream today. Probably, if I can get into Dual Universe and I don't get kicked because of too many people like there was over the holiday weekend, then I'll probably be streaming some Dual Universe today. Otherwise, I think I'm going to continue my adventures in Assassin's Creed Odyssey. And if not, I'll be back into Baldur's Gate 2 playing that. Or maybe Wasteland 3. I don't know. I'm playing a variety of games. So, talk to you all, ladies and gentlemen, later. Have a good morning.